is the stuff that good teams are made of.
But even though this is a weaker opponent, to see the attention to detail and concentration means a lot, right? Because it's easy to walk in the gym and say we can just show up. But the stuff you're just talking about and their energy early on says a lot about the turn of mentality with this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the desperation of this team has gotten them to a level to compete, and now they're settling into the roles that are in front of them in order to be consistent every night.
And we are lucky to be joined by Brent Barry, former Clipper, world champion. As we send it down to
3 turnovers, pointed out the 24 fast break points. But he said, you know, you only played one half of basketball. So the message at halftime was, don't let them get back in this. You've got to put your foot on their throat while they're down. And then he kind of stomped on their floor and growled a little bit, which made me laugh. So having fun there at halftime, but they want to keep the pressure on the second half.
Animated Brian Shaw is a fun Brian Shaw. Jumper balls for George. You kind of touched on it, Brent, but like, you know, Ty Lue had been asked, what's the biggest change with this team? And he says, oh, we've made the defensive changes. We've made it more simpler, but the competitive spirit just was not there for 27 games. It is on full force, I think, right now for this team.
No, I agree. I think the confidence of these young guys and what they can do and how they can contribute is there. Jimmy, they're not going outside of themselves a lot. That's important for the veterans to get that kind of confidence in those young guys. They've seen that. And right now, they've got to pile up a lot of wins, and the schedule is in their favor as Middleton continues to be a veteran thorn in the side for the Clippers tonight.
The lead was as big as 24. It's down.
Being part of it back and forth, you rarely see that with OKC, but you saw it for those that watched the game, in particular SGA. But let me ask you this. Here's an intriguing question. Because of that blowout win by Minnesota, come February 6th, is Giannis in the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's what gets you. And Giannis says, I would never ask for a trade. Well, yeah, but your agent will, like you said.
Yeah, sometimes you say these things and stories go out, and then you have games like last night, Brian, when they get blown out. The boos come out. You saw Giannis's emotion on the bench. I know we're talking about another game, but it's an important player in this league. But Giannis came out and did what he does. He always says the right things. He talks about the team. He talks about his effort. He talks about what he plays for. And we'll just see in the next couple of weeks if there's a shift, a massive shift in the landscape of the East. But I don't think it's going to happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if
them to get the confidence of Giannis moving forward to make a push to still be a playoff team. It's so interesting to watch Washington tonight with you guys after the trade, and how much a veteran presence with Kobe on the follow, how much a veteran presence like C.J. McCollum, how great he was to help organize this offense. They're going to really struggle in the next few games with their confidence on that end of the floor. A lot of that is gone because C.J. is now in Atlanta.
Bagley taps that one in, a kind of a resurgence here in Washington in his second tour of duty. Was traded a couple of years ago from the Wizards. 75-60, they are fighting here. So too is Kawhi Leonard. A whistle will send him to the line.
And I think freedom, try to compete. You don't want to win a lot of games.
You're talent, but the problem is you're still young. And you're going to make that draft pick, and you're adding another guy to the developmental program. The key thing for Troy Weaver and Will Dawkins is to try to find some veterans in some positions that help stabilize this team. And you could see, again, I'll go back to CJ. Just one of them was doing so much for this ball club on one end of the floor. That'll be some targets for them looking forward and looking to next season.
Let me push back. Could you
need to do, but still can go out and do what you need to do and bring these guys along. So a couple of seasons that get them 2 seasons down the line to figure out which of these young guys between Bub Carrington and Trey and
Koulibaly,
Sarr will be there, and Koulibaly, who they stick with moving forward.
Middleton into Bagley. They send it back outside. This is Johnson. And a very good shooter. They love him over there in Washington. As you mentioned, will he be part of the future? It looks like it, yes. There's some young talent. Do they need that talent, the veteran player, to be an everyday player in the rotation? Or can they get a back-end roster spot like a Udonis Haslem in Miami that can help lead from behind?
I'd be curious about Jimmy's thoughts on this. I always, as a player on a team, appreciated veterans who could not just talk about it. I said this before, not just talk about what you need to do, but can still go out and are capable of doing what it is that they're saying. And so sometimes guys' voices get tired if they never see it other than in practice. Those guys need to play, Brian, is basically what I'm getting at. Those guys need to be on the floor.
Leonard drives, 5 to shoot. Good ball movement, but it's a deep three for Harden. And it goes out of bounds and back to Washington. Clippers have led this game by as many as 24. It's down to 15.
And to back up your point, Brian, too, the difference I think with Udonis Haslem, because he has been with that organization the whole time, but I know what you're saying. He had built-in equity. Even if he didn't play, his equity was built in. But to Cliff's point, if you're going to bring a veteran in whose voice you want to listen to, I think at the beginning especially, he has to be active. That doesn't mean 20 minutes a night. It can mean 15, it can be 10. And a strong voice, I think these young players would adhere and listen to, and that they respect.
Clippers struggling, just 2 for 8 here in the third. Meanwhile, Washington 7 of 10. We heard this a couple weeks ago when the Clippers were up big, that they got bored with the opponent and they let them back into the game. The same thing is happening right now as the Wizards have doubled up the Clippers here in the third. Again, it was a 24-point lead. It's down to 10.
The Brooklyn game was a struggle. Detroit had nobody playing in that game, and it took a fight from the Clippers to get that one on the road. And Charlotte was no easy game either. Here's another turnover.
And the Wizards doing this without Alex Sarr. You could make the argument is their best player, and Ty Lue says, I've seen enough. 79-71. The Wizards have outscored the Clippers 20-9.
You guys have seen enough of me. I'm bad luck. I'm going to go back to my...
Earlier, he looked at me, he goes, see? Just now, JVG, though, stressing the importance of hustle plays. So they know they need to put in some more effort here, not let the Wizards back in this.
In a game like this, it's match the energy. You've got more skill. If you take away the one thing the Wizards can do better than you, and that's play hard, you take that away, it's going to be awful tough. They haven't done that here in the third, and Washington has taken advantage. Harden misses. George rebounds. Clippers have been outscored 20-9. The Wizards 9 for 12, and now playing with a ton of confidence. George down the lane, blocked by Lopez, but it's down
on the offensive end. And then it's reversed. When you play a little bit soft on offense, I mean, nonchalant, typically to the Clippers.
Giannis Niederhauser checks in. He was a plus 11 in 9 minutes. Some of the best run that we've seen him have here. And he's had some good moments for the Clippers. He had 8 points and 4 rebounds, a couple of assists as well. Leonard picked up by George, gets the screen from Niederhauser. 10 to shoot. Good defense here by the Wizards. Middleton picks up the rookie Sanders. A tough fadeaway. Barely hits the front of the rim. And Bagley the rebound for Washington. Lead down to 6. George pickups down the lane. A whistle will send him right back to the line. A disaster. 14 the contest, gets the second to fall, and believe it or not, it is a 5-point game. It was a fireworks show in the second quarter. Clippers really running away with it, and now it's kind of raining on the parade. Sanders attacks inside, can't put it in. Rebound goes to Washington. Trey Johnson turns the corner. George juggles and then lobs it to the veteran Middleton. Carrington, the pull-up on the baseline, misses everything. Rebound knocked out of bounds by
Niederhauser. Miller give you a little bit more energy along with Sanders. And Chris Dunn, the defensive effort should pick up.
Harden dumps it to Niederhauser. Stripped on the way up. They'll go to the line for a couple. Porter. Niederhauser gets the first of 2. Match the energy.